Your cruise ship has an overnight and a whole day in Amsterdam. Yippee! But what to do? Where to go? How do you get around and make sure you don't miss out? If you want answers to those questions, stick around and we'll help you out. If you don't know us, I'm Rachel, he's Wills, and we are Postcards and a Pint. But now let's all chill out Amsterdam style as we arrive into this stunning city. Sailing down the Canal into Amsterdam was so serene and peaceful. Not for long, we've got an overnight cruise stop in Amsterdam. Now let's get started. We opted to walk into the city this first evening, although you could get a tram or a taxi, but more about that later. Just before the main train station, we saw the hop-on, hop-off buses, but we didn't do that this time. Right, we're by the station, and how long did that take?
That was about a 15-minute walk. We're just behind the station now. We're going to walk through. Amsterdam is looking fine tonight, and our ship is all twinkly and sparkly over there.
We're on the P&O Ventura. Do check out our other videos about the ship and our experiences. We walked through the station, which is not only a good place to catch a train, but is pretty good for shopping too. Then we were on the other side with the whole of Amsterdam spread out at our feet. There's a good tram stop here to help you get around, but we're not venturing far tonight. Rach?
Amsterdam is so beautiful, but right now we're starving and we're going to get some chips. We did this gag last time, but for old time's sake, let's do it again. Where we get some chips, Wills?
A mannequin piss.
A mannequin piss?
A mannequin piss chips.
Ooh, that would hurt.
Sorry, not sorry for that one, but these claim to be the best chips in Amsterdam. The queues were certainly long enough.
We've ordered our chips, he said go to the back of the other line.
So we queued, ordered and paid, then queued again to receive our chips. But was it worth it?
Okay, so Saturday night there is a large queue for chips, but they are amazing chips, so well worth it. And what a place to eat them in front of this gorgeous, gorgeous setting. Let us finish our chips and then we'll get on to the red light district.
You'll find mannequin piss chips pretty much opposite the Grasshopper. You won't miss this one at night as it glows a bright green. Passing right next to the Grasshopper brings you into the red light district. For those who don't know, prostitution and the sale of small amounts of recreational drugs is legal in the Netherlands. This does attract a lot of foreign tourists, but we find it all part of Amsterdam's charm. Although it does bring out the inner child in Wills. Yes, he can't stroll past a boobies fridge magnet without, well, quite. Some people do say that this area makes them feel unsafe, but it never has for us. Maybe we're usually tucked up in bed before it gets rowdy. Enjoying yourself, Wills? Right, that's it, Benny Hill. Tomorrow we're educating you on human sexuality. We enjoyed walking along the canals, and seedy it may be, but there's something about Amsterdam that we absolutely love. Sadly, as you may have heard from my very gravelly voice in this video, I had come down with a full-on cold and was feeling rubbish. We decided to grab a nightcap at the Grasshopper and then head back to the ship to get an early night so we'd be ready for a full day of exploring tomorrow. I'd done well, but was done in. Cheers! Thanks, Amsterdam. We'll see you in the morning. Now to walk back.
Well, that was fantastic.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, if you're wondering why Rachel is very croaky, I've probably already explained and moaned enough on this video. I am
Marge Simpson.
Full of cold. I sound like Marge Simpson. Hopefully by the time I do the voiceovers for these videos, I am better. I am not feeling great at all.
Because you were ill a couple of weeks ago, weren't you? Or last week as we filmed
Ill
this.
or not ill, isn't Amsterdam just beautiful?
Isn't it?
Absolutely stunning. So we're going to go back to the ship now, have a little nightcap. God, it's gone, isn't it? Have a little nightcap. And then we're going to be bright and rested for tomorrow, where we're going to see some stuff.
Oh.
Good night, Amsterdam. Morning, and we're going to walk again. But for those who don't want to, you'll find the tram stop directly opposite the cruise terminal. You can use your contactless debit or credit card to travel on the trams in Amsterdam, and it's really reasonable, but we prefer to walk as
It's a lovely fresh morning walk, and after last night's immaturity in the red light district, I've decided that Wills needs educating.
Educating.
So we're going to go to the, I think it's called the House of Venus or something. It's basically the sex museum where they explore the history of human sexuality with artefacts, drawings. I think it'll
And
be
lots
very
of Rudy things.
I think it'll be very educational for him.
And you can stop smirking. This will do you the world of good.
We're just at the back of Central Station, and if you should fancy going to the Amsterdam Tower, which is just across the water over there, come out the back of the station and there are free boats to take you across the very large canal that we sailed down. The Amsterdam Tower, we're not going to do it this time. If you want to check it out, look at our Amsterdam in a day video.
It was good though, wasn't it?
It was really, really good fun. It's something different to do if you think you've done all the regular things in Amsterdam.
On the top, they've got a VR tour of Amsterdam.
Very cool lift.
The best lift in the world. In fact, we'll show you a little bit of a lift now.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, so maybe not the best lift in the world, but it's pretty cool. To get across the station, find the E-Passage at the far right of the station. And a 5-minute walk through brings you to the front of the station. Now tell us more about this tram stop, Rach.
Right out of the front of the magnificent station building is a very, very big tram stop. You can pretty much get a tram to everywhere.
But no trams needed here, as the Venus Temple is a 2-minute walk away. Now let's get Sid James inside and start his education. And for €10, what could possibly go wrong? OK, so there are some lewd and crass mannequins in the first section, but once you start to read the history on the walls and see some of the religious artefacts, nothing could be further from your mind then.
A chopper?
Not at all. You'll be telling me next it looks like a...
knob.
Oh man, this is not going well. I want you to embrace the life story of Mata Hari. Blamed for espionage in World War I, she offered men forbidden fruits of seduction, and all you can see is...
cherries?
I am losing the will to live right now.
Thingy?
No!
Tool?
Stop it!
Muscle, love muscle.
Right, that's it, we're out of here. It is a fascinating museum, should you visit with an adult. Down the cheeky staircase we go, and it's time to head back outside. Well, that was fun. Next up, it was time to try the metro for the first time. We used the stop at Central Station and we're heading off to the museum quarter. Tell us all about the line and the route you're taking, Rach.
We're getting the line 52 south to somewhere I can't say.
OK, so you're doing that backwards, but who cares, hey? We again tapped in with our bank cards and the journey cost us €3.20. You can get travel passes to make it cheaper, but this was the only journey we were doing. And in only a few minutes we were at Vezelgracht, only a short walk from the museums. The first one you see is the Mighty Rijksmuseum. This is one of the most famous museums in the world. It's renowned for its vast collection of Dutch art and history. But we're not going in this one today, we're just walking on by. A ticket for this one will set you back €25, but you can see the Night Watch by Rembrandt, amongst many other famous paintings and sculptures. But we passed on by and then found an ice rink. In the summer, this area is a lovely place to sit, but we'll take an ice rink and fingers crossed a mulled wine too. Thanks, love, that looks just the ticket. That'll clear your pipes, Rach. Right, what is next on today's agenda?
Well, the Sex Museum didn't go so well, so we're going to try and educate and culture Wills in the Museum of Modern Art.
Or the Moco, to be more precise. This is a relatively new gallery, only opening in 2016, but it's housed in Villa Alsberg that dates from 1904. This museum has a goal of making modern art more accessible to the public. We started with the Banksy exhibition, and if you've watched our Ventura diary vlog, you'll know we'd attended an art talk on board and now saw ourselves as experts. It was all very modern and edgy. To be honest, it was far too cool for us. There were visuals that were stunning and probably packed a powerful message. That Willow was definitely weeping, so we trusted in art. And went upstairs, hoping to see a wealth of Warhols. Well, we saw a couple, then a whole room of Robbie Williams. Doesn't he sing songs? Looking at these pictures, it quickly became apparent that yes, he does indeed sing songs. There were some interesting quotes and some fun pictures, but we'd hoped that the Liechtenstein exhibition was still on. Note to self, do your research next time. By now we'd lost the plot a bit. I don't think we're cut out to appreciate modern art. There were some illuminated installations downstairs, which were very pretty, but our heads were scrambled. It was time to leave. In this area, you'll also find the Von Gogh Museum, and I think next time we're in town, it will be this one for us. But that's enough of museums, art and museum memorabilia. Next up, it's food. We went for the Cobra Cafe, as they claim to have hot chocolate and nice warm fires inside. Yes, it was hot chocolates all around. And tell us about your food.
The Dutch really do have the best lunches, pancakes and chips. Next, because we didn't get to Will's Christmas shop yesterday, we're going to walk from here to the flower market. He reckons it's about 18 minutes. We'll just mosey along and see what we see along the way.
I'm hanging in there and will never turn down a walk through Amsterdam. And in the spirit of Santa, it was time to pick up some postcards for our top-tier Patreons. Like our channel name, we do love to write and send postcards. And drink pints, of course, but that goes without saying. Nice selection. Just a heads up that Apple Maps works really well in Amsterdam, so you don't need to worry about getting lost. And about 20 minutes later, we were at the flower market. And your Christmas shop, Wills?
Hey, it's open. My favourite shop in Amsterdam.
Wills has loved this shop since our visit in 2017. It's full of flashy lights and Christmas decorations, some of them Netherlands themed, but on the whole it's just a big shop full of Christmas tat, and Wills loves it. Go on lad, choose your decorations and let's get out of here. Are you sure you don't want a cannabis lollipop to go with that? No? Let's go! As well as copious amounts of cheese, this is also the home of the flower market. The Bloemenmarkt is the world's only floating flower market and has been part of Amsterdam's culture since 1862. We bought some tulip bulbs and will look forward to those blooming back in Wales. But by now we were thinking, surely it's time for a sit down. So we headed away from the flower market and back towards the red light district. By foot, not by tram. It's only about a 10-minute walk. Well, it is if you don't stop to play photographer to the lads. Say cheese, lads, there's plenty of it around. Our next plan was to do a boat trip and see Amsterdam from the water. We did notice that some of the canals were dirtier than we remembered, which did make us sad. We hadn't pre-booked a boat trip online, as we've always managed to get one in the past. Then halfway down Ouderzijds Voorburgwal, we found this one and decided to try our luck. This was a much smaller boat trip than we'd ever done before. They gave us cookies, and the price also included a drink as well. Cheers. There were only 6 other passengers as well as us, and we could hear the guide really well and learnt a lot. The canal system in Amsterdam dates back to the 17th century and is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. As we sailed out onto the main canal, we passed the Sea Palace, Amsterdam's famous and striking floating Chinese restaurant. Then it was into the smaller, more intimate canals and past this quirky building, the Slawaart, one of the wonkiest buildings in Amsterdam. It's now a bar, and if it looks level to you, you've probably had a few too many. If you've been walking for miles around Amsterdam, this really is a lovely way to rest your feet while seeing more of the city. And this tour was definitely better than the big boats. You won't be alone whilst out on the canals, sailing past tall, narrow houses and under bridges stacked with bicycles. In the UK, a houseboat is considered a cheaper way of living, but not here in Amsterdam. Houseboats are some of the most expensive properties in the city, often costing more than a traditional house. We finally sailed past the 5 dancing houses, or drunken houses. If you've got a fridge magnet of houses from Amsterdam, it's probably of this site. Our 60-minute tour was coming to an end, and we'd enjoyed every second. There were a few last quirky spots and pretty streets to sail down, until we sailed under a tunnel and back into the red light district. This tour cost us €21 each and was with Amsterdam Boat Trips, and we highly recommend them. We were ready to be back on our feet And our next stop was Dam Square, just a 5-minute walk away. This square dates back to the 13th century and became a central marketplace and town square. It's actually a dam on the Amstel River, hence the name of the city, Amsterdam. Although pigeons seem to have taken over today. On this square, you'll find the Royal Palace and the new church. We decided to walk to the Anne Frank house. Although we weren't visiting the museum today, we do enjoy the walk and find this part of Amsterdam soaked in World War II history. It will take you about 10 minutes to walk from Dam Square to the Anne Frank house. When you reach this church, Vesterkerk, then you're there. It does seem to be under construction at the moment, and do note, if you do want to go inside, it's best to book online at least a few weeks before you want to visit, as it's very popular. To stand here and remember how the Frank family hid from the Nazis in this building is very humbling, and we always like to come here and pay our respects to Anne. Even though our ship didn't sail until midnight tonight, we felt we'd done all we'd set out to do in Amsterdam this day. We started to walk back and found a second mannequin piss chips. Told you business was going well. This is the main shopping street, Nieuwedijk, but there was to be no shopping for us today. We were shattered. What we needed was a sit down and a beverage. And where better to do that than in the Cuddle Pub. This was a well-needed sit-down and beverage stop. Tell us about the pub, Wills.
We've just stopped at the Cuddle Pub. It's a lovely little pub, recommended by locals, just off the main shopping street.
Cheers to both of you, and what a full-on port stop in Amsterdam. But don't get too comfy, as
We're going back to the ship.
we certainly are, and we felt we topped up our Amsterdam cup to keep us going for the next couple of years. There are so many things you can do when in port in Amsterdam, and we've still got many to explore yet. It's a beautiful old city, seedy in places, untidy in others, but this old lady has heart and soul, and we love it. We hope we've helped you to plan your port stop in Amsterdam, and you're now excited to get there. Whatever you do, we're sure you'll have a brilliant time. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and drop us a comment. We've been Postcard and a Pint. Cheers!
What do you call a nose with no body?
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
Oh.